So very quickly, before I move on to our next speakers, our surprise speakers, I just want to add a bit about the freedom of information requests that John just mentioned. So many of you are familiar with that site selection because we've talked about that several times, the fact that the person who submitted that request waited originally over 6 months just to get the documents. And she only received about 10% of the documents that were relevant to her request. She then appealed that decision not to release more documentation, and she's been waiting on that appeal since July and has just actually informed us that she was involved in what's called mediation through the Information and Privacy Commissioner, but the provincial government just wasn't really playing ball with her in the mediation process, so she's now proceeding to adjudication. So again, it's just really a shame that people have to be fighting with their own government just to get what we consider basic information. Okay, does anyone know a good lawyer who's pro bono? That would be our only option, unfortunately. And then very quickly, on the matter of freedom of information for the due diligence documents. So back in November, the Ministry of the Solicitor General told us that they had either completed or were in process of completing a number of due diligence activities, which is really just activities that need to happen prior to the development of a site. And so far, out of the 7, so I should say local residents have submitted requests to get these documents. Out of the 7, 4 have been denied. In other words, they've said, yeah, we have some documents related to what you're asking for, but we're denying you access to them. 2 are still pending. And the final one, which was really kind of odd, was every ministry that the person went to, they said, we don't have it, we don't have it, we don't have it. And on the 3rd try, they said, go back to the first ministry, which had already said, we don't have it. So that's one we're still trying to sort out. So anyway, it's again the lack of transparency, which I think concerns all of us. So in speaking of our special guest appearances, we happen to have 2 local candidates here who are candidates in the upcoming provincial election. And I didn't get a chance to ask Chris and Josh who wants to go first. We have NDP candidate Chris Wilson here and Liberal candidate Josh Bennett. So a big round for both of them. Well, good question. So my dear friend Victor did invite Steve Clark, told him about the rally, invited him, and he is in at Queen's Park this week because otherwise I'm sure he would have accepted our invitation. And I should just add that the Green Party is not holding their nomination meeting until tomorrow, which is why you don't see anyone here from the Green Party. So Chris and Josh, you guys going to arm wrestle or what's? You're going for? Okay. So I'm pleased to introduce Josh Bennett, your Liberal candidate for the provincial election.